Good morning, Coffee Moaners.
Good morning, Coffee Moaners. Lovely to have you here, to have a moan and a groan with. And Jesus Christ, what the hell is going to happen next?
What is going to happen next?
What is going to happen next?
We are here at a slightly earlier time just because we've got a batshit crazy day today. But yeah, it's the news flow is, I'd say the last 2 or 3 Coffee Moanings have been incredibly complex to get all of the bits and bobs. And the titles don't allow you to put anything in. Sorry, it's my moan as a YouTuber.
If you're new to us, you won't know that, yes, we have what's in the title, but we have a whole lot more going on as well.
There's a hell of a lot going on.
So what we're kicking off with, Mark?
So we've got a lot to talk about. The Anne Widdecombe, for anyone who's foreign, Anne Widdecombe, a former politician, a very outspoken member of the Reform Party, Reform Movement. She was tragically killed, murdered, 3-4 days ago now, the weekend.
It's so shocking.
Originally, they discounted a terrorist or a political aspect to it. I didn't know how they could discount a political aspect to it so quickly.
It's the first thing we said, wasn't it?
I don't know how you do that when so many things in life are political. But the Counter-Terrorism police have now been engaged in that. Trump is threatening to charge 20% tariffs in the Strait of HORMUZ. No one's told him. It wasn't his. It was flowing perfectly before he got involved. And
just when you think he couldn't become any more of a mafia boss, he does. So yeah, hoodlum.
ICE agent kills another citizen in America, in Maine, and this is again just horrific. We've got some very, again, pre-warning, trigger warning. We've got some, we don't see the actual shooting necessarily, but we do see blurred out footage, very shocking. And the reason I think it's important to home in on this, I think it's the 11th or 12th person that's been killed by ICE. Has this become normalized? Has the media, have we, when I was posting the story about it, I just thought, well, hang on a minute, the outrage and upset that we felt when this happened previously, to that woman, do you remember, in the car, and the chap?
And last week, a guy of 52 was killed, and we didn't even talk about it, and it's wrong.
Yeah. Reese, I stood on the politically motivated attack from the get-go. Same regarding Anne Widdecombe. I mean, we'll get to that in a second. I'm not wanting it to be true. I just don't know how anyone could have. But don't get me going, because I find that almost bizarre. We're also going to talk about a really quite distressing clip of Marco Rubio talking about wanting to dismantle the International Criminal Court.
It's so chilling. It's honestly, it made me feel a bit queasy this morning watching him.
Yeah. So
international law is just meant to be for poor people.
Yeah. Or as I said in my story, it's not for us or USA. It's only for other people. But by dismantling it, they don't even want it to be there for other people. Because of course, why? They want to be able to sort of provide a pass
with impunity
alongside allies.
And Israel.
Absolutely. And also, of course, within all of this, I mean, it's mentioned in the Trump to charge in the Strait of Hormuz. Things are really challenging in the Middle East. There's no two ways about it. Jordan was attacked last night. Bases were bombed. Bahrain was bombed. Iran is obviously attacking America's proxies. The legacy media would have you think this is unprovoked attacks on Gulf states. But even in their messaging to Jordan, they said, we have no problem with the people of Jordan. We share the same passion for the Palestinians. You know that we're targeting American bases. So presumably to all the Gulf states, this is the risk you take, isn't it? When you house or home,
you allow a little piece of America to live in your land.
So there's lots to talk about, and around that, obviously, we've got lots of interesting clips. We've got Jolly Big Ginger, who I know a lot of you really like. He is a veteran, former army soldier, talking about the shooting in Maine. I've also got a really distressing clip by another American commentator about just some of the other gyrations that are happening in politics at the moment, which kind of intersect with the Anne Widdecombe thing. Because at the moment, let's start with Anne Widdecombe. Who'd have thought this story could have mushroomed like this? I mean,
I think what Laura Nolan says there is so true. She's a public figure and she's a politician.
Okay, well, let's start with Reese kind of tipped it out. Laura Nolan's followed through with a blinder. That was exactly my thinking when they said so fast, almost within the first hour, this is not politically motivated.
Well,
how do you know?
Well, the way that it could be, I mean, what I thought, because I went through that, we both said it straight away. How can they know at this stage it's not political? And then I said, well, I mean, I suppose further down, you could find out that there's all manner of reasons that somebody could just randomly kill somebody. You know, it could be a stalker, just for a million other reasons. Do you know what I mean? You know, look like his mum. It could be, I don't know, she once bashed a trolley into him in Sainsbury's. I mean, there's lots of lunatics out there, so it is possible that it's not politically motivated. But they're saying that, and then even this morning when I saw the headline, you know, police, the outrage that the police had said this so quickly, and I thought, well, why is there outrage about that? But then when I read into it, but apparently it's the biggest mistake you can make. The police should never, ever rule anything out.
Well, that's what
the statement should always be: we are open to everything.
That was my point. I mean, a number of people are saying she had no influence. She was once a sort of senior and significant political pundit. We all know that a lot of her political opinions are incredibly reform-esque and far right. So would, you know, sit on a side of politics that would aggravate a lot of people. But you're absolutely right, Nadia. It was less that when I heard the story break, I thought this is inherently political because she's a former politician and lots of her views are objectionable. I just thought you just can't say
wipe
that.
It out. You couldn't say it's not a stalker. You couldn't say it's not political. You couldn't say anything because it was like a day.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so this is the Devon and Cornwall police. Could this have been just a mistake, just a blunder?
Maybe.
And you know, somebody's rushed to put something out.
Yeah.
Or is this something else? I mean, I don't know. There's no real suggestion of anything else, is it?
Well,
there just needs to be a lot of sort of perplexedness.
Well, no, there is quite a bit. There's a little bit of detail coming from the Mail. So this is the headline in The Guardian: Anne Widdecombe death. Counter-terrorism police now take over the investigation. Shock development based on new information and evidence renews debate over security of politicians. British counter-terrorism police are now leading the investigation into the death of Anne Widdecombe in a shock development. Widdecombe's body was found with serious injuries by the ambulance service at her home in Devon on Thursday.
It's horrific.
A 28-year-old man from Rotherham is being held in custody on suspicion of her murder. But it was a dramatic change yesterday in terms of the nature of the case, as counter-terrorism police in South East said it was taking over the investigation after Devon and Cornwall police had earlier said a review of the case had ruled out a terrorist motive. The suspect was rearrested on suspicion of commission, preparation, or instigation of acts of terrorism. In the Mail, which is often not at all afraid to go the extra yard, is it, in almost everything, they're saying that this guy who's been arrested, Anne Widdecombe murder suspect, had communist literature at home. Terror cops believe attack was political, and that he was a lone wolf, kind of communist.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say, a lone wolf. They're not saying he's necessarily affiliated. I mean, I think, is a terror attack officially a terror attack when you're affiliated to some kind of organization or nation,
the definition,
or
isn't it, is if you are trying to influence the government or terrorize people into your way of thinking, basically, isn't it? So that can be an individual.
The police are under fire. Police under fire over Widdecombe terror investigation. Officers accused of breaking the golden rule of live inquiries by initially insisting killing had not been politically motivated. And Widdecombe murder suspect had communist.
No, but what I meant when I said what I meant when I said there doesn't seem to be any further detail as to why they might have said that.
Why they might have said what?
Said that there was no political. I mean, is it just a blunder, or is there a suggestion that there's something else?
It sounds to me like they've made a mistake, or they just said something too soon. I mean, I tell you what I do think, and I do think the police are in an unenviable situation. I don't know if anyone else noticed this. One of the first things, Reece, do you notice this? One of the first things to be said before even that there was no political aspect to it, which I thought, how do you know that? Was he's white. That they said immediately. They knew that presumably from CCTV and from Ring doorbells and all the rest of it, they felt that the suspect was white. And the police are under this extraordinary pressure, partly brought about
before
by...
it whips up the pogroms and...
partly brought about by parties like Reform that insist that we need transparency and we need to know the, so that there isn't misinformation, disinformation, and all that kind of stuff, spreading online. There will be an internal investigation, Nadia, serious blunder by the police, passive aggressive. Reese, I watched the segment of The View last night discussing the ICE murder, and Ana Navarro, who's of Nicaraguan descent, spoke to the importance of them sharing his name so he doesn't exist as a subhuman. Yeah, I agree. We're gonna talk about the ICE shooting shortly. Nadia, we went digging, didn't we, for some statistics though on terror attacks, which I think are really illuminating, especially given the fact that there was, there was another story yesterday, wasn't there? Regarding, sorry, bear with me 1 second. Regarding, police arrested 12 people over a suspected far-right threat against an Islamic event in Suffolk.
That would have had 15,000, it said.
Yes.
I couldn't quite believe
It's
that
a
number.
massive deal.
15,000 Muslims, some sort of Islamic event. And 12 people were arrested yesterday. I think 8 on suspicion
12 have been arrested, including 3 on suspicion of conspiracy to murder over a suspected far-right threat against an Islamic event that was held over the weekend. In Suffolk, Counter-Terrorism police are leading this investigation, which they said was related to extreme right-wing terrorism, targeting an event held at Shrubland Hall in Suffolk.
Well done for catching
a potential serious threat to the event, where an estimated 15,000 people attended across 4 days. So all of this kind of, terrorist attacks, what constitutes a terror attack, what constitutes a politically motivated attack. We dug into the government's, the Home Office's own statistics. And look at this, this is interesting. So here's my concern with all of this. Farage has been called in to meet Shabana Mahmood so she can make him feel happier about his security. Lots of Reform candidates are talking about the particular hostility that's aimed at them. Robert Jenrick has been on GB News saying this. Dereliction of duty, Reform UK fires back over Labour's decision to cut Nigel Farage's security by 75%. We asked the question yesterday, to what extent...
Do we know if that's true?
Well,
I mean,
again, no.
They had Yvette Cooper on the other day saying that he got the same as everybody else. But of course, I don't believe anything Yvette Cooper says either. So
no. And also, I heard...
I mean, we keep hearing this from Reform, but is it true? Was
it Thomas Tuchel or whatever the name of that Tory politician who was running for leadership? I heard him saying, your security arsenal or personnel very much depends on how high a profile you've had or have.
Yeah, I mean,
Yvette
Cooper said it's not up to ministers. The ministers don't make those decisions. It is the security police that make them. So to sort of say, oh, Labour have cut it, it's not actually true.
No, that's a really good question. Who has it said that? Callum Begley, thank you. Was there a Cobra meeting for the? Let's not beat around the bush. 15,000, an event with 15,000 people, 12 people arrested in a counter-terrorist operation.
Absolutely, and it's only our first thing in the morning. There should absolutely be a very clear statement with him being on camera, not just written on his Twitter, from the Prime Minister on this today. That is petrifying. Yeah, absolutely petrifying.
I mean, 3 of them have been arrested with intent to kill. 12. And this isn't, there is the connection I'm trying to draw here between this and the Anne Widdecombe is that I worry that whilst there is genuinely a threat to people who are politicians, public-facing politicians,
no matter what party.
Yeah, I mean, and also it was a Labour politician who was tragically shot. It was a Conservative politician who was tragically stabbed to death, wasn't he, in his surgery? I've talked even just at a local level. The vulnerabilities to people being elected and politicians is real. I don't think we should get into it's worse for this group or that group or what have you.
Because you never know. Because then, of course, you can have a lone person that's a crazy person that might hate all of them.
Yeah.
So They all need to be kept safe.
And this isn't to diminish the threat that's perceived or felt, which it clearly is real, to perhaps the Reform Party at the moment. They're the ones in focus at the moment, just like the Labour Party, I guess, was at the time of Joe Cox.
Oh, Joe Cox.
You know, that was just awful. But so let's just put that to one side. The worry, and I think you can feel that with Robert Jenrick. We felt it perhaps a little bit with Nigel Farage around making sure he got the shot of him is how this is going to be taken advantage of. Everything in public life, whatever happens, seems to be used for sort of political purposes, doesn't it? It becomes a football, it's tucked under the arm, and it's run with a little bit. Now, of course, we can all see, and I'm not suggesting this is what's happened here, but we can all see how this threat to Anne Widdecombe that's resulted in this awful tragedy can potentially intercept with Farage's description of the money that he received being for security. We can feel how there's a kind of, in the Venn diagram, it's all beginning to cross over a little bit. So I think we're going to start to move into the foothills of where do terror attacks come from? Who's most at risk? Where does the risk come from? Where does the threat come from most? And this is why we thought we'd just look into what the statistics were.
Can we just read out Shakira?
Yeah.
Shakira, bad. Muslims are just waiting for the worst to happen. So many are really worried. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And yet our government never talks about that.
Yeah. Mm. So, and on that, so, you know, chiming in on that, Shakira, you're absolutely right. So this page here, don't get number blindness, but total referrals, 8,000.
So this is from the government website.
From the government website, Home Office. 8,778. That's the total number of referrals or cases, if you like, of incidents that they've acknowledged and they've intercepted and dealt with that have a terrorist aspect to them.
April 2024 to 2025, March 2020.
So the total went up by 27% on the previous year, which is the highest since records began in 2015. But what's interesting here is those terror threats from the extreme right wing account for 21% of all of those 8,778. Islamist extremism accounted for 10%. So there's twice as much of a threat from far right terrorism than there is from the perception of Islamic terrorism. For the year end, Islamist, yeah. For the year ending March 2025, the UK's Prevent Programme also shows that left-wing extremism was just 21 cases out of 8,778, which is well under 1%. So my point here is, whilst the Mail says he's a communist, let's hope we don't start to move towards something that they are doing in America, which is far left.
Exactly what they're doing in America.
So before we start to say, oh, communism's the problem and far left radicalism is the problem.
I mean, has anyone ever met a communist here?
But you know what I mean? Let's just remember the statistics, and they're quite stark and they're quite different to what the press covers and how the press will. I'm not suggesting this has happened yet, but it's just being preemptively aware that wait for that potential massage. Wait for that potential massage.
I think politicians have got to stop jumping to the gun with all of that as well, because so often they're wrong, whether they're saying, oh, it's a loony left winger or a loony Muslim, terrorist. So often they're wrong. Everybody just wait. Let's just wait and find out.
MRK 40, exactly what I was thinking, Mark, the minute I heard about it. I'm so sorry what happened to Anne Widdecombe, but in another way, it's legitimised Farage's take of why he needs security.
No, I don't think it does specifically Farage. I think it does all politicians, because at the moment we still don't know the motive for this man. It could still turn out to be that he's just a crazy stalker about something else. And, he's also a communist. We just don't know. So I think, again, it's like any politicians loud mouthing it could end up with egg on their face, because it might be something completely different from what any individual is thinking.
Yes. This is interesting from News Cord. 12 far-right suspects were arrested for plotting to attack an Islamic event. This headline from GB News makes the event sound like the threat. 12 police arrested after Islamic event in Suffolk was forced to end due to potential serious threat. Oh, wow. What a slippery way of using language.
Wow.
Yeah. In Middle East Eye, UK police arrest 12 over far-right terror plot targeting major Muslim gathering. Clear who's targeted. GB News, 12 people arrested after Islamic event in Suffolk was forced to end due to potential serious threat. Perpetrator and target unclear.
Wow.
That's a really interesting contrast.
Please do follow News Cord on Instagram and support them and share their posts, because it is fascinating. They're holding the media to account every day.
Based on Ofcom's track record with handling GB News complaints, it's unlikely they will act on this headline. Under their code, much like the BBC's, a headline can be vague and misleading as long as the details are clarified somewhere in the article.
Somewhere where they know nobody's going to read it.
That's terrible, isn't it? That stark contrast there of headlines speaks to everything. What you've got there with the GB News is they're quite happy to obfuscate, make opaque, and kind of decriminalize almost the severity of what 12 people have tried to do. Yeah.
And they're all for law and order, Mark, aren't they? Making it a safer country. But obviously, again, only if you're very, very white.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want to show you a clip, which is an American guy talking about America and talking about left-wing politics in America. But the reason I want to bring him in is it kind of chimes with what I'm worried could happen here, because we often look to America for what happens next here. Listen to this guy.
Is now calling for democratic socialists in the United States of America to be thrown in prison and deported, whether or not they're American citizens. His latest Truth Social post is a clip from YouTube saying, quote, "Democratic socialism must be criminalized, leaders deported." Now, when you think about who is a democratic socialist in the United States of America, well, the most prominent is Mayor Mamdani, but you also have newly elected, soon-to-be members of Congress, Claire Valdez in New York 7 and Daria Eliza Chevalier in New York 13. You also have democratic socialists running for Congress across America, not just Congress, but other higher offices, and also millions of Americans who identify as democratic socialists as well. And what the president is saying here is that all of those individuals should face prison time, should be their beliefs should be criminalized, and that they should face deportation. To have the American president, the leader of the free nation, the free world, do that, well, it just shows where we are right now as a nation. As always, spread the word. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. More to come soon.
So he's Aaron Parnas. He's very good. He's a very good commentator, American influencer.
He's worn out though.
But just bear that in mind. Democratic socialists, democratic socialism. You're looking at
democratic, but he's already called them all communists, hasn't he?
So just remember what I'm saying when we hear the Daily Mail mentioning Communist Manifesto, and just keep all of this in the back of your mind. And then remember the actual statistics where left-wing acts of terror account for less than 1% of the total number. Far right account for nearly a third, and Islamic terrorism accounts for 10%. All of them reprehensible, but do we ever hear half as much about the far right terrorism as we do all the other types?
Exactly. This is how they start maligning. Socialism is close to communism in the US. They will grab that narrative here.
And Farage, even in his statement about resigning and then rerunning, it was very Trumpian. It was Timo Trump, Ed Davey called it, wasn't it? If you think about it, wait for the playbook to come. We'll do it badly. Reform will do it badly. But
also, so what if you're a communist? Communist doesn't make you a murderer, doesn't make you, I mean, it's totally ridiculous.
What do you think, guys?
I nearly bought a necklace the other day that said I am a communist.
Careful, Nads.
Well, I mean, I don't know much about communism, but if it's played out properly, which it never has been.
But you're Nadia Sawalha off the telly.
Fairer for all, you know?
How can Nadia Sawalha
But of course, there's always some bastards at the top screwing the system and making loads of money and dictatorship that comes into it. But anyone who's a communist in this country does not immediately mean that they are a danger or a murderer. Come on.
Watch this space. There will be an attempt to radicalize the concept of communism, Marxism, and socialism as some kind of extremist fringe, whereas unbridled capitalism is absolutely fine and genocide is okay.
Exactly, musical chimp. Who told you communism and socialism were bad? A billionaire.
Yeah. Who told you communism? Yeah, brilliant.
Exactly.
Reese,
they don't want to share. They don't want people to have. They love this massive wealth gap that has caused such abject misery across the world.
It's defo preferential treatment on those seen as terror suspects and those who get given grace, and therefore trying to uphold neutrality or objectivity until further evidence is a Herculean effort.
Yeah,
I agree. MRK, look how little it's being highlighted on the arrest of 12 by count. Come on, guys.
12?
This should be on the front page of every paper.
White people. Well, we don't know they're white.
No, well, the three that have been accused of murder, I think, are white. But the point is here, and again, there are many other sections of society that if there had been a gathering of that size, and it doesn't matter how about the size of the gathering. I mean, we don't know.
They've been arrested for murder. For murder of how many? Could it have been bombs?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a Muslim, I'm not Muslim. People often think I am because my dad's Arabic, but I'm not Muslim. You know, you would be sitting here now going, what were they going to do? Were they going to bomb the event? Were they going to get out a machine gun?
Yeah. Sabah Shaukat, remember the McCarthy trials in the 50s?
Yes.
Nadia off the telly. Careful, Nadia, you'll get cancelled. I don't want communism, but far worse is capitalism, says Fun Times
Exactly.
Yeah.
I fucking hate capitalism and globalization. I think I'm a communist.
Yeah, I'm really pleased I pulled that quote by him because I really want... This is a shift and a movement that's really happening in America.
Be aware of it, folks.
And that will be the same shift. And I'm not suggesting for a minute anyone has sought to take advantage of that yet, but it was just interesting. The only time I've read communist in the press, and I'm sure it's possibly because it's true, is in relationship to this guy that they're now investigating as a potential terror attack. But that event, the 15,000 Muslims at an event with 12 people arrested, not a dicky bird from our government. What the hell is going on?
I mean, he should have a lectern out the front.
Well, he did have a lectern out the front, and he was talking about prescribing the IRGC as a terrorist organization. Zara Sultana?
And didn't think to also mention the terrorist gang that have been caught.
No.
Because usually that's something you'd want to show off about, right? This is good police,
good work. We've intercepted an event.
I mean, the counter-terrorist people must be really pissed off they're not getting any publicity for this.
And Zara Sultana said, okay, well, if we're prescribing the IRGC as a terrorist organization, what about prescribing the IDF too? But that was greeted with tumbleweed, of course. So yeah, it's shocking. And News Cord's analysis of the headlines
so
is
angry.
Yeah,
the unfairness of it all.
I was watching an interview, says Sometimes Forever, of Jane Fonda and the communism rhetoric the US government whipped up in order to have the war with Vietnam. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Opened my eyes even more.
People have got to think, okay, when they use the word communist, they want to frighten you. What is frightening? What is frightening? Like, what do they want us to go through? Oh my God!
We might all share courgettes.
Communists!
We might share courgettes.
Say billionaires, say nutcases who now are in charge of the fucking robot world that's going to take over. Look at the Palantir guy. That's terrifying. He's terrifying, that guy, that creep. What's that creep's name? The mad hair that tells us how he's going to destroy the world. Yeah, he's like a terrifying, like Bond character. Yes. I'm scared of him.
Yeah,
is he a communist? Oh, I see why you want us to be scared, because he's very scary.
Yeah. Big shout out, by the way, to Dublin, the hotel in Dublin that cancelled Peter Thiel's curiously dark and twisted sect or cult that wanted to gather and talk about Third World War.
Oh, well done.
Well done, Dublin. Alex Karp, thank you very much. That's his name.
What's the nutter called with the fizzy hair?
Alex Karp.
What's his name? I don't think I ever knew his name.
The one who sort of said, yeah, you're right. The one who admitted that they had kill lists for Israel. And yeah, absolutely. Alexei Sale is a communist and brilliant, says Anne H.
What about the Nova Media people? They're communists. I mean...
Okay, we're going to stick with America, having gone to America. We're going to start with Trump and the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh, God.
Yeah, sorry. US strikes Iran for third consecutive night as Trump plans transit fee.
Trigger warning. Yeah. Hoodlum entering the room.
Yeah, it's literally like Goodfellas. It's like Joe Pesci walks in the room. What do you say? Donald Trump's announcement that the US will begin charging ships for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz is not only an about-face for his administration, but upends hundreds of years of American policy supporting freedom of navigation around the world.
White supremacy.
Let's have a listen to the big man himself.
Crazy, and we're not going to put it up. Yeah, I want to be reimbursed because we're protecting a very rich portion of the world. We're spending money, and so what we've done is we are going to be reimbursed for protection. We're protecting by the countries that we're helping.
racket,
For instance,
literally.
you look at the 5 countries. You have Saudi Arabia, you have UAE, you have Qatar, as I always say, you have Qatar, Bahrain, and by the way, you have others. You have Kuwait, and you have others, and they will do very well. But we think it's appropriate that we don't need them. You know, we have more oil than any other country in the world. When you add Venezuela, which has been amazing, which has tremendous amounts of oil that we control. When you add Venezuela and everything else, we have more than 50% of the world's supply. We don't need it, but we need it from the standpoint of protecting allies, et cetera, including Israel, including Saudi Arabia, including Qatar, including UAE. We're protecting all of them, and we've done a very effective job.
Hang on.
Wow.
He's literally using the term protection racket.
What
virtually.
the fuck? He's literally said it.
Like Laura Nolan says, it's Venezuela's oil.
Yeah.
You've gone and occupied
It's
another
Iran,
country.
Strait of Hormuz.
It's so staggering. Do you want to hear from
It's
your...
disgusting. Guys, please hit the like button, the subscribe and the notification bell. Help get these videos out.
Pound those buttons like you mean business.
Pound it, baby.
Yeah, even if you hit the thumbs down by accident,
You can
undo
go
it.
back and correct it.
Nadia's crush is Simon Marks, brilliant correspondent, LBC's America correspondent
He's
over
so
here.
good. Or are we going to get Simon Marks?
About the 20% charge.
Trump, on his Truth Social account today, has said the Strait of Hormuz is open and will remain open with or without Iran. But he then goes on to say the United States will henceforth be known as the guardian of the Hormuz Strait. But then, and here's the kicker, he goes on to say that as a matter of fairness, the United States will be reimbursed at the rate of 20% for any and all costs necessary to do the job of providing safety and security to this very volatile section of the world. 20%. He's going to charge 20% of the value of all cargo shipped through the Strait of Hormuz. He says the process and formation will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
So hang on.
Laura Nolan, 20% of what?
So,
So, okay.
So UK is bringing through their shit. Is it us that's going to
Yes. Everyone, yeah. Whose oil is it? It's coming to England.
I thought you meant, which is outrageous enough in itself. I think meant he's going to charge Iran 20% for everything that came. It probably is as well.
Well, no. He'll charge everyone who's getting anything through the Strait of Hormuz to anywhere.
Lost it.
Whoever's
so
bought
badly.
it, he will charge them 20%.
He's lost it so badly now.
Yeah, this is bad.
But
you know,
what are we going to say as a country when he says, give me 20%? What the fuck are we going to say? Here you go. What are we going to do? What is the rest of the world going to do? Are we just going to bend over and take it up the arse again?
Nadia. I just want
Sorry, it's so outrageous.
Iran issued a statement. I can't find it and I can't remember where I saw it, but they issued something on one of their social media saying it's all well and good America saying they'll be the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz, guardians of the galaxy.
Trump supremacy.
But Iran said, however much, but you know what Iran have said? Because Iran weren't going to charge anywhere near that amount, I don't think. They've said, he set the bar quite high, 20%. We know we can undercut that. So Iran has said, we'll charge less.
But and what's he going to do? Will we get beaten up? Will you get like an... Will you get your kneecaps broken if you don't pay?
Possibly.
So what will the Marines be there going? Come on, time to pay up.
Well, let's hear from.
How's this going to work?
I don't know, but this is a great moment to hear bizarrely from the Brazilian president.
Oh God.
Tem Twitter do presidente Trump. Tem Twitter dele dizendo que ele vai desobstruir o Estreito de Hormuz, dizendo que ele vai desobstruir. Mas cada navio que ele desobstruir, que ele tirar do estreito, o dono do petróleo tem que pagar 20% para ele. Isso antigamente chamava-se pirataria. Não é isso? Antigamente isso chamava-se pirataria. Um Estado importante como os Estados Unidos, que eu acho que durante muito tempo combateu a pirataria, não pode agora virar pirata.
Take you out.
Ou seja, ele não tem que cobrar.
I mean,
Brazil accusing America of piracy there for those listening on podcast. Like you say, Nads, I wouldn't want to be him today. I mean,
he'll send his SWAT team in, and next thing we'll be seeing him getting dragged off a helicopter and thrown into a jail in New York.
And then Trump will be like, nobody does burning of the Amazon like America will. We can chop down the trees.
We could chop down the trees.
Chop down all the trees.
Fuck.
Oh, it's just the whole.
I mean,
what do we do?
Jesus Christ. Right, what's Mark Carney going to do? Does Mark Carney get anything?
Mark Carney's
you know my geography.
Yeah.
Would he get anything out of the Strait of Hormuz?
I'm sure Canada
Does everyone
gets something.
in the world?
I'm sure Canada gets something. Up the arse is something Mark says. I was a little taken aback by that, Nadia, MRK40.
Sorry.
Another moment from the big orange turd in the Oval Office. Here we go.
Just what I think.
You noted the United States is bombing Iran again. I mean, you've been bombing Iran for months now. Is this just the new normal for the American people?
Well, you know, we were in Vietnam for 19 years. We're here for 4 months. I think we've done a lot. We've knocked out their Navy in a period of 1 month. We knocked out their Air Force. Their Air Force is non-existent. We knocked out most of their missiles, most of their drones. We knocked out their drone manufacturing capability, about 92%. Their missile capability for manufacturing, we knocked out 89%. And they have a little capability, but they don't have any capability for us. This is almost a military skirmish.
God.
Someone please just put him somewhere. And just shut him
but,
up.
But I mean, seriously, the world cannot accept this. So what's he going to do? He will turn. I mean, he'll have to step back from this.
Yeah,
won't he? Because nobody's going to pay that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, what is
Me too, Victoria.
What is Andy Burnham going to do when our new Prime Minister gets in about 6 days? What's he going to do? Say we won't pay it? Well, I'm up in Manchester. I can't really talk about this. It's a bit fucking annoying, isn't it? I'm just listening to my Spotify playlist. It's fucking great. I'm listening to Oasis. Meanwhile, you're going to like this one, Ned. Trump to declare Georgia senators are illegitimate because he's lost Lindsey Graham. He's now going to declare that the 2 senators of Georgia aren't legal.
What?
Apparently. Yeah, he's going to basically announce that
he's gone proper mad, hasn't he? He's tipped over into something now.
Yeah.
Even worse. Yeah. Maybe we're very close to him being dragged off.
Yeah.
And put into an ambulance.
Yeah. Let's have one last moment from Trump. He phones in to Fox and Friends. Yes, you can.
Taking over the strait. They have nothing. They've got nothing. So something that nobody knows. Yesterday, they had an 11-hour meeting. Everything's 11 hours with these guys. You know, you can't settle a one sentence in 1 hour and 1 minute. It should be 1 minute. And everything was agreed to yesterday. And they leave the room, and they call back, and they say, we had to make a couple of changes. I said, changes? They got to make changes? We're not going to make changes. We'll become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait. And we should be reimbursed for that. When we do that, we're going to be reimbursed because the other nations are very wealthy. They're on our side. And we can't be expected to do that for nothing, unlike we had for many years. You know, we guarded the strait for 50 years more, and we never got paid for it. They made all the money, and the United States was just, they wouldn't. It's amazing.
Rambling old man on phone. It sounds like he's like that on his back, doesn't it? With like burgers all over his chest.
Yeah, he loves the timing, Zoe, and they're always made up. He just commits to whatever he says. 91%, 90%, 89%, 72%.
It's
15
shocking.
billion. Every time he says a number, he's lying.
Breaking news. Mitch McConnell has been seen moving.
Honey, show them you're okay.
He's alive. He's alive. He's dancing. This is Mitch McConnell, who people are wondering whether he's alive or whether he's dead. The speculation in America is staggering. Staggering. Okay, we're going to, before we move to the awfulness of the eye story.
I can't do Rubio yet.
Yeah, afraid so.
I can't.
No more Trump, Ellen. No more Trump.
Give me something in between.
But here you go. Marco Rubio has launched a campaign to dismantle the International Criminal Court. This is bizarre.
Have you got him explaining it?
The ICC and its friends are waging a war against our country, not with bullets or missiles, but with statutes, compacts, and the force of so-called international law. When the ICC was born 24 years ago, they told us that it was merely a narrow backstop, a global court that would step in to prosecute only the gravest offenses, things like genocide and war crimes.
Things like genocide. Interesting. He's wanting to dismantle it. Things like genocide. There's no genocide. There's no genocides going on. So, yeah, irrelevant at the minute.
How can you actually throw... I mean, this is the lunacy and the inhumanity.
It's despicable person.
This is the lunacy, inhumanity and barbarism that we live in. That you can throw genocide in a list.
Things like genocide. I mean, please.
I mean, we're now talking about genocide like it's something you pick and choose as a sort of foreign policy.
Things like genocide. And really the gravest of things, like genocide.
Elaine 6169, interesting, and they call the Iranian government a dictatorship.
God, these people are dictators of the finest.
So I'm not going to play any more of him because
it goes on and on like that. It goes on and on. And basically, at the end of it, it's like, this wasn't supposed to be for us. This is supposed to be for the poor people.
Yeah.
And it needs to be dismantled.
He talks of images of US Border Patrol agents and elected leaders being dragged before an international court and tried by judges from around the world. And what's interesting about this is, and this kind of is leading us towards the ICE shooting in Maine in America, is that you can see why America and Israel aren't signatories to the International Criminal Court. I mean, it's pretty damn fucking obvious to me. You don't want to be a member of a court or a legal system that's going to basically...
That's going to ask you to adhere to laws that you don't fancy.
I mean, how staggeringly deaf can you be, morally deaf, to think that you can stand on any stage and say this and not be seen for what you're saying, which is basically we don't want to do what you tell us to do.
He's kind of one of the worst because he's completely flipped. He was not this far right person, right? He's also very intelligent, people say. So he knows the truth of all of this and he stands there. He stands there with no moral code. And, he's a really good Catholic as well, isn't he? Oh, shame. How do you sleep? How do you sleep at night?
It's just awful.
And he's Cuban. You know, his parents escaped Cuba. And he's gun-hoing all of the horrors that they're doing, the immigration shit that they're doing.
He'd love to invade Cuba. He's that weird thing that often seems to happen, second generation, that sort of
so mean,
that pull the kind of drawbridge up or pull the kind of, the rope ladder up and sort of say, I'm in, but
I'm
I don't want anyone
Jack.
else in.
I cannot stand I'm all right, Jack people. What is the point? What's the point of you being a human being if you care nothing for any others? It's weird. It's like, where's your buzz in life? I suppose it's just power, right? Power is a big buzz. Nothing power is horrible.
Laura Nolan wonders, has Trump got something on him? I think everyone in government has got everything on everyone. I think everyone's got something on everyone.
Because so many of them are so morally corrupt that you wonder what, I bet it doesn't take long to find stuff on a lot of them.
Shakir Abad, the ICC has already been hamstrung. Also, all these US Catholic politicians need excommunicating by the Pope.
Well, the Pope is very judgy. I love him.
Yeah, MeTube channel, Rubio wants to invade Cuba because he sees it as freeing Cuba from communism.
At the moment, they're starving them to death. Babies are dying in their incubators. The cruelest way of freeing. My God.
Dawny Harvey, do you remember the song, The Lunatics Have Taken Over the Asylum? Yeah, I do remember that. MRK 40, it's to desensitize us to make this the norm. That's why the establishment don't like the likes of you two who don't fall in line and speak up against injustices. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And many other channels too.
We're called crazy.
Called crazy. Okay, so our final story is this, and this is really important. ICE fatally shoots 26-year-old Colombian man in Maine during immigration operation as it happened. Now, Reese, you mentioned his name not having been identified. And again, I should have trigger warned you on that photograph. This is a photograph that's doing the rounds. Warning, it is an image of the aftermath of the shooting.
You got the photo of him?
Yeah, I've got that coming, So here we have it. ICE killed Joan Sebastian Guerrero in Bidford, Maine today. That's an image there of him there with his daughter. I want to take you over to Jolly Good Ginger, because he talks through this. He also does show that photo and talks about the photo, and then we have clips also of what actually transpired when the actual shooting happened.
That I'm about to show you is disturbing, and if you think that the photo will disturb you, then you shouldn't watch it. This is your trigger warning. I contemplated long and hard about not making this video, not using this photo, because I try to be deliberate and I try to be sensitive when talking about subjects that involve people's lives being taken. And while nobody's perfect and sometimes we get it wrong, I try to be very, very intentional and think through what I'm doing. And I thought this through. And the reason I'm going to show this video right now on my platform, I apologize, this picture right now on my platform, is I think that people need to see it. And before I show you, let me explain to you why I think people need to see it. Because this is becoming normal now. ICE murdering people in the street with zero accountability is becoming normal now. ICE being in the streets, snatching people up, circumventing the letter of the law, zero due process, that is becoming normal now. There's still zero accountability for the murders of Renee Good, Alex Pretty, and Keith Porter Jr. Today's murder took place just 1 week after another murder, that of Lorenzo Araujo. And it's not just murder. They are kidnapping people and holding them in hostage facilities. Delaney Hall in New Jersey, the Whipple Federal Building in Minneapolis, the MDC in Los Angeles, Delante Hall in Texas. They're all across the country. These are concentration camps, modern day hostage facilities where people are kept in inhumane conditions. And just today, the president made a post on his Temu Twitter suggesting they should start getting democratic socialists off the street using ICE and putting them in these concentration camps. So why am I going to show you this picture right now? Because not enough people are taking this as seriously as it is. Not enough people are on the streets. Not enough people are as angry as they need to be to put everything else aside and revolt against what's happening in our country. This photo right here is the blood that was spilt by ICE today. And the city, the police, ICE, nobody even took the time to clean it up.
Wow, very, very powerful.
Very powerful.
We made the decision not to show you the videos of him being flopped out of his car, clearly dead, and then putting his hands behind his back and cuffing him.
Yeah, cuffed.
Witnesses say that the 3-year-old little girl, his daughter, was there by the body crying, his wife. He's right. Like last week, a 52-year-old man, 56 or 52-year-old man was. We didn't even talk about it on here, Mark. These are people being shot dead in their streets in America, and like you said, unpunished. Renee Good's murderer has made millions from people donating to him. We cannot take our eyes off this. The speed with which America has become a dictatorship should be terrifying everybody, especially when we're hearing such similar rhetoric in this country. And especially as Trump and Musk have their fingers deeply in the pies over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to manipulate
Lewis
our
Goodall
politics.
did a really good little documentary, went out to America. He was shocked, really shocked by what many Americans think it is like here. Like, you can't go out on the street. You've been completely taken over by Muslims. It's so dangerous for you to even, how can you go? How can you bear it? There's lots of influencers now actually coming here, isn't there? Young, which I'm really glad of. Young influencers go, here I am in London having a great time, haven't felt any danger. Actually, America is the most bloody dangerous place to be because of your gun laws.
I mean, they call London Londonistan.
Londonistan. You know, so we have to stay awake, man.
I mean, what Jolly Good Ginger said there was really interesting. He said people need to be more angry. I genuinely wonder, and I think perhaps
really
any Americans here who agree, maybe there isn't more anger, more outrage, more demonstrating because people are genuinely scared. Because it's actually, if it's effective.
I was scared for him saying
it.
I thought, I was literally sitting thinking, oh my God, he's going to get a knock on the door. But it's the power of numbers, you see, why they got things, why things were shifted in Minneapolis was the numbers of people that went out. It was only people power that shifted that.
Well, it got that Bongiorno removed. It got someone else put in. Then I've always said it's always worrying them when they know they've made huge publicized mistakes. It's what happens next. It's a little bit like the Israeli genocide. You know, there's the obvious atrocities that are happening every minute, every day. And then there's a kind of, whoa, there's a silence. And then a bit more careful, a bit more curated, a bit more indirect, a bit more.
And these ICE camps are, I read up quite a lot about the ICE camps and what's going in. It's truly a disgrace.
But I genuinely think people are fearful. Do you remember him last year talking
about his crocodile place? The place where they were, he cut down on guards because he got crocodiles all the way around.
Alligator Alcatraz.
No, it's not in Alcatraz. It was
no, it's not, but that's what they called it.
Very quickly built, because of course there's huge amounts of money being made from these camps, from these prisons. Now there are more and more states disallowing them to be built, aren't they, in their states? So
the industry, well, I hate to say it, the industry in America, it's the industry, I mean, Jolly Good Ginger uses the phrase, glorified, if not sort of concentration camps. There's industry to be made. There's a living to be eked out of processing immigrants, migrants,
and look at the history of slavery in America, right? So, you know, I listened to a really good documentary series on serial productions, who are my favorite podcast makers, all about, just I was following the story of a few young black boys who were put into prison, but within that it showed the money that is made out of young black kids in America and throwing them into prison, into jails. I mean, it's just, we showed you that video last week, didn't we, of that young man, and they were talking about the prison he should go to, and actually he should get life because he was really big and strong and would be good as a worker. I mean,
Hutchie boy, thing is, if people go on the streets in the US, there is a chance you'll be shot. That's what I'm saying. I think the ICE crackdown has been, unfortunately, so effective. People are too scared to protest.
For a very long time.
Yeah, too scared to protest.
They have impunity, like Israel. They have impunity, the ICE agents, like the IOF.
Even not in the way during the 60s and the civil rights movement, where, they were quashed violently. What was that film which starred John Boyega? It was amazing. Detroit, is it called? There's just a sense now that you could be effectively killed or effectively deported very quickly. So if they're efficient in their crackdown, then people will be too scared to resist. I'm only going to post this clip because Miss Ann Harriman played this clip on his Instagram. This is people protesting against the shooting.
It was in the back seat. That's what
So that's footage of people protesting in Bideford or Bidford in Maine.
Yeah, they are, Jodie Duncan.
Yeah, Joy Duncan.
Yeah.
Oh, guys. Okay. We've got one funny, but it's not really funny off the back of that, Trump, is it really? So we'll leave that for now. But guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button.
Poor family,
Share the link to this live if you can with anyone else. Keep your comments coming in. More content is landing on the channel later today. There won't be a Mrs. and Mr. sadly today, but more content will be landing later. Anything? And don't forget, for those in the members area tonight, 7:30, it's book along.
We're looking forward to that.
Really looking forward.
So don't forget, if you don't have to have read the book, you can just join the chat. So 7:30 in the top tier members area. We look forward to seeing you.
All right, guys. Have a good day.